follow your conspiracy to the end. What is the goal? First of all, define your conspiracy and what is the goal of AJ Brown?
Let's go to my main man, James Carver. He's got a string of 3 of them and some 50 burgers. So thank you, James.
Nice.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. We'll do I'll tell you what, John, the Eagles might have lost the game, but they hit the threshold for a giveaway. So we will be doing a jersey giveaway tomorrow. And I might do some more giveaways as well. Friday, we did 3 of JAKIB merch. So we'll see how many supers we get today. And then we'll do maybe some giveaways today on Zander Time as well after the show. James Carver says, I know people are going to attack AJ's route, whether he gave up or double moves, never saw the ball, etc. The refs' penalties and balance overlooked dictating the refs' penalties and balance, overlooking dictating the quarterback choices. But the biggest issue was the O-line. Last night, look at the all 22 of all games. O-line, especially my favorite Mailata, has been uncharacteristically gashed with speed rushes this year. And it appears it's because he's trying to help on 3 eye slips and 4 or 5 techs, especially before his kicks to help. So I guess helping out the right guard is what James is insinuating here. And then he continues and says,
helping out his buddy, left guard, Landon.
Yeah, left guard, excuse me, my bad. Seems entire O-line trying to help and is affecting execution. And grace to Steen for past few weeks, but his pro have been affected a lot by trying to help us stab inside before his job and showed big on late run block with Jordan pulling and can't clear for Saquon. So James Carver's all over the offensive line here, John.
Well, I said, I mean, compared to their usual standard, it's been difficult. I think it has more to do with Landon not being healthy and Cam not being completely back, which he admitted yesterday for, I think, the first time after the offseason back surgery. So I think most of it, and obviously Landon got hurt again, so now it's a back, it's a knee, and it's an ankle. In a short week, I would be even Landon Dickerson, I never count him out, but I would be surprised if he plays on a short week, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, Jordan Mailata has been the best of the Eagles offensive linemen this year, as he was last year. He's always been the one weakness to his game, if you want to call it that. And it's not really a weakness. He is susceptible to big time speed rushers, like once or twice a game, where he can just get caught because he's such a big guy. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Now, Lane, the couple times I saw poor Jonathan Cooper last, I mean, it's absurd. So I'm not worried about either of those 2 players. Is Jordan trying to help Landon Dickerson? Yeah, probably. Like I said, it's not only his teammate, it's his best friend. And Landon is struggling because of the injuries. I think Tyler, I've said it he's better than I expected him to be, and I think he's only going to get better. So, but again, if you compare him to last year's standard, yeah, it's not nearly what it was. But that was one of the best offensive lines, literally, I think I've ever seen of all time. So similar to Saquon, is that going to happen again? Probably not. And then you talk about the wear and tear, and I think it's all related to injuries to Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, to be honest.
Do you think they're going to get to a point? I mean, even you, because we talked about this a little bit ago, will they sit Landon down? And even you on I don't know if your thoughts have evolved on it, but on the post game, you were like, you're looking at a knee, a back, an ankle. At some point, you might have to look, take a look there. Do you think they'll sit Landon down? I don't know what the report is.
I think he's not going to play this week, but that's just speculation because it's a short week.
Yeah, Thursday game.
But I think he'll be back in what's the game after the mini bye, Minnesota.
Vikings.
I think he'll be back for that game. I mean, he's Landon Dickerson. Give him a week off because it's a short week, and then I'll have the extra time and he'll be out there. That's what I expect.
Yeah, but he's not the same. What about Cam, John? I mean, he is clearly not the same guy right now.
No, I think Jeb talked to him, said he was like 60%.
Wait, Cam said that after the game?
Yeah, I think Jeff McLean.
Because
But
I haven't heard him talk about that at all.
I'm
We've
not.
speculated it, but I haven't
Let me see.
seen it reported or talked about at all.
I think. Yeah, yeah. So here's what he said to Jeff. Every game is getting a little better, but it's football. You go out there, it don't matter if you're 100% or 60. So I conflated that. He didn't say
Okay,
it was
he
60.
didn't say 60, but he used
You
it
can
as
go out there no matter if you're 100% or 60%, your play is your play, which he's right. I mean, people only judge your play, but he's not healthy, which is what he's saying. So that was the exact quote, but so I apologize for that. But yeah, he's not healthy. Not 100%. And that's part of it. And he had back surgery. We talked about that a lot. That's something that
yeah.
lingers, and both of them are not playing up to their standard. Although I think Cam played better early in the season than Landon did. But then the Tampa Bay, and I got to rewatch, especially when it comes to the offensive line. I got to rewatch it, but um, he didn't play well in Tampa Bay, and that some of that is Vita. Um, and then I didn't get the feel that he played that well against Denver, but I have to rewatch it.
Yeah. All right, James, thanks for the super chats, brother. We got 3 big ones from James. James, we appreciate you, brother, as always. Let's go to Prince. What's up, Prince? Good to see you in here, brother. He says, JMac, I call bullshit on your A.J. Brown take. He's a captain. Smitty doesn't take plays off. Shit, Saquon wasn't crying about his touches. Accountability.
Well, I would say, Prince, take accountability for your comments, because if you can point to me when AJ was complaining about his touches, please show it to me because I haven't seen it. He's complaining about the effectiveness of the offense. He is a captain. He was voted a captain by his teammates. Smitty doesn't take plays off, I think, is an interesting one. How do you know? Do you have an ISO camera on him? Like I said, put an ISO camera on any receiver in football. Go to the all 22. Pick any game. Don't pick an Eagles game. Pick a big time receiver.
Yeah, but does that bail AJ out in that play? Like if that play, because Jalen called it a shot play. So if you have a shot play, why are you pulling up that early in the route? I mean, you got to run through that route, even if that ball never comes.
I already explained that he didn't track it well.
Right, but my point was, even if you don't track it, shouldn't you be running through that
Well,
route?
you're turning your head again. He's not a robot. It's not Madden.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You're turning your head, and you immediately start looking for the football. Like tracking is a big thing in the NFL. People should have learned this from Nelson Aguilar, who was always open, but had a really difficult time tracking the football down the field. It ain't easy. You got to pick it up. Darius Slay used to talk about this from. It's even tougher for defensive backs because they got to turn their heads and bang, figure out where the football is. And Slay used to talk about how it was so much easier in college because they have the white stripes, and you could pick up the white stripes, and they don't have that in the NFL on the football. And you're often as a corner, you're turning around, you got to pick up that ball immediately. Well, when you're running your head down, and you immediately turn around to look, you're naturally going to slow down. You're naturally going to slow down. And then if you pick it up, you gear up again. And he didn't pick it up until way too late. So again, I think that part of it is legitimate criticism. If you want to, you didn't track the ball, and that's part of his job. And he admitted that, by the way, when he was pressed, and he first wanted to say, well, we just missed a big shot. But yeah, but to the point of the conspiracy theorist, again, follow your conspiracy to the end. What is the goal? First of all, define your conspiracy, and what is the goal of AJ Brown? To make
I don't
Jalen
think
look.
he had a goal other than that he's been dejected by this offense, and in a moment where they needed him, that dejection, which has led to him pulling up on more plays, I think, than I've ever seen. I know you say every receiver doesn't run through every play, which you're probably right about 100%. But I think it's reared its ugly head in ugly ways, and I think that was one of those plays.
Well, I think that's a better criticism in Tampa Bay, which I think he legitimately didn't play that well. I think that on this particular play, I mean, to me, it's so obvious, it's ludicrous. He didn't track the football. This is not the play to use that as the identity. This is not the play. If you want to go back to Tampa Bay and say some of those routes were hardly, he was rounding off routes, typically untypically. Yeah, I'm all on board. I don't think he played his best game. This is crazy to me. This is one of those that's legitimate crazy to me. And not so much fans as some of the film people. I'm like, are you kidding me? It is so blatantly obvious. He did not track the football. Which again, that part of it, up for criticism. No problem with it. Because that's part of a receiver's job, and it's not always the most easy thing. But similar to what Cam said, if you're out there, you get judged on your play, which is part of the gig. But it's October, it's Halloween month. People need a villain. If you want AJ to be the villain, yeah,
I'm not trying to make him the villain. I'm not
saying you.
I just don't think he should be bailed out completely. Like.
On this particular play, I think he should be bailed out completely. If you want to go point to some of those routes in Tampa.
I'm looking at it right now, John. It looks like he slows before he even looks for the ball. It was a double move. So I think we have to point in. There is time.
He slows when he turns his head. I'm looking at it right now. Look at when he turns his head to look back.
Yeah, he comes or he makes the double move on the safety. Clearly,
look at the turn of the head. Just focus on the head.
I see
That's when he slows down.
I see it.
That's when he slows down.
I think another thing you see when you slow this thing down, though, is holy shit, that safety got burned. Dude,
but by the way, he played a good game overall. Huff, Huffnet,
I don't know though, dude. John, when he looks, man, he really slows up. Like, are you supposed to be slowing to that level?
Boy, man, this is one where I can't even give 10 seconds of time.
All right, well, will you admit this part of it then? It's fine if you want to bail him out on this play.
I'm not bailing him out.
Based on how, though, the majority of the public will consume that play. Take that with a grain of salt, because you know how the public consumes things. They will not look for the full answer. They will not even care about the truth. About the
oh, yeah. It's going to look. Yeah.
But it's a bad look for A.J. Brown coming off of last week. It is. It's a bad look for A.J.
Yeah,
Brown.
but to me, because that's why I brought up my experience with Randy Moss. It's like, okay. Everybody believes to this day, he's in the Hall of Fame. Everybody believes to this day that he took a bunch of plays off, because that's the narrative. And that's just part of it. Especially when you are perceived to talk too much. And that's where AJ is perceived to be right now. So, yeah, obviously, to the people that don't know, it's going to look bad. I don't know what the end game is. Like, if AJ went through all the stuff? See, here's the ironic part of people criticizing. Like, he wants the football, right? He's complaining about getting the football. As Prince says, Saquon wasn't crying about his touches. AJ's crying about his touches. Again, not true, but let's pretend it is. So he wants the touches. He's got a chance to get a touch that's going to go for a monster touchdown. Is that the play he wants to take off? What sense does this make at any level?
No, again, I think the better explanation is that the weeks prior, which have clearly been frustrating for him, as we saw it boil over last week, led into him taking a play or not thinking the ball was coming his way. And when the ball actually came, it ended up costing the team because
I will just say again, if you want to go back to Tampa, I can entertain some of these conversations. And not even, I mean, I just think he didn't play well. But on this particular play, I mean, he turned his head, didn't track the football, picked it up, started up, and he was too late. To me, it's pretty simple. On this particular play, didn't pick up, didn't track the football.
I don't think he thought he was getting the football, and that's why he pulled up.
I think he didn't track it.
I agree. I do think he didn't track it too, but I think part of it, I think it's a conflation of a couple.
Well, you never think if you're not, and I don't know what the progression of the play was, but I believe he said yesterday he wasn't expecting to get the football, so he's not hiring.
Was that ball late coming out, John?
I mean, I have to look at it again, the first part of it. But no, I mean, he overthrew it, so by definition, it can't be late. But again, he, if AJ tracked the football properly off the hands, I don't think it was going to be underthrown, so I don't think there was any issue from that standpoint. But I think that was all tracking. I mean, it's the idea, and again, he's a very bad. I will say this about AJ: he's very bad at explaining his conspiracies or covering his conspiracies, because he said he wasn't expecting the football, and then he turned around and tried to pick it up and didn't pick it up till late. But unless you're a deep shot that's drawn up and you're not the first or second progression, you're never going to expect to get the football. To me, it's just, that's just part of it. But that's not to say you lollygag it, which I just don't see evidence of. If I did, I'd say it. He did not track the football.
People will be arguing that one all week long, I'm sure, when it comes to A.J. Brown. John, I think it's a fair question to ask, at least, did he overthrow it? I mean, I think it looked like a mild, but
he overthrowed it in the moments. Like when I said,
because A.J. made it look like an overthrow.
Yeah.
But A.J., it's just assuming for a second, A.J. runs through that route. I think he makes the catch, but
I saw him open, and it was way overthrown from that, but not way overthrown, but pretty significantly over. But after seeing the video of it, if AJ picks it up, if AJ tracks the football and gets it right off his hand immediately, he probably catches it. I don't know that for 100%, but he probably catches it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ball was put in a good spot if AJ had ran through the route. Let's go to some supers. People got comments on this.
I would not say that. See, I disagree with your assessment of it. I believe if he would have run through the routes. I don't think running through the route is the difference. Tracking the football is the difference.
All right. Well, if he tracked,
now you can believe what you want to believe.
What would he have done if he tracked it? He would have ran through it, right?
He would have picked it up, and he would have turned on the second gear a little bit quicker. But to me, the idea, the way that you describe it, you can have your opinion. I'm just saying I want to differentiate my opinion, because I think that's where fans get conflated of he just lollygagged it by not running through the route. No, he didn't track the football, and he didn't pick up the football early enough to get where he needed to go.
Fair enough. Let's get to the super chats here. Dirty Air says, are we going to ignore the fact that AJ announced on social media he was going to quietly withdraw from contributing? Hard to defend that play when you remember that.
Well, I mean, come on, Dirty Air. I mean, he announced on social media that he was going to quietly withdraw from contributing. where he put up a Bible verse.
That
And
said
yet,
that though.
I mean, you could have any you could take the baton, and this is one of my criticisms of AJ and why he shouldn't have done that, because people take that baton and go any way they want to go. There is no talk about contributing and withdrawing from contributing. None. Zero. So anybody can have any opinion or any interpretation they want. And that is why AJ made a mistake, because he opens up the people that want to go with the baton any way they want to go. But there is no actual talk of targets. There is no actual talk of, I'm going to withdraw from contribution to this team. If he announced that, he would have been either benched or traded, or something, or suspended for contract detrimental to his team. There was nothing other than people's imagination that could take it in that direction. But that's AJ's fault. Yeah. I will say that, because he left up. That's why you shouldn't do what he did. Yeah. Because you leave it up to individual interpretation.
James Carver checks in. Appreciate it, Dirty Air. Appreciate everybody for the super chats today. We'll get to all of them. All right, plenty to talk about here. The Birds lose their first game of the year, 21-17. By the way, a hell of a play by Sean Payton to have the guts to go for it on 2 there, make it a 4-point game. That's a completely different outcome had they not gone for 2 there. Then they would have been up by 3, and the Eagles would have had a chance to tie. James Carver says, people overlook the fact that, 1, every receiver slows on every double move to track, and they necessarily do latent in progressions because they're also looking to break off a route relative to QB movement.
Yeah, thanks, James. You did a better job than me, evidently. Like the absurdity that receivers don't slow down when they turn their heads tracking the football. I mean, that's the part I can't have a conversation. I mean, like, again, you pick another team. Look at receivers. They're not Madden characters.
But there's degrees, right? Like, did he slow up too much? I mean, it looked like he almost completely took his foot off the gas and then put it back on.
He did not locate the football. And he was trying to locate the football. And when he located the football, then he turned it on. That's what receivers do. All receivers. Good ones, bad ones, indifferent ones. But yes, they are not video game characters. And when they turn their heads to look for the football, it is going to impact their movement.
Bobby Murphy says, you can't be crying on social media for the damn ball and create all this drama, then quit on routes the very next week. That's bullshit in all caps. Bobby Murphy is not happy with AJ.
Well, that's again, AJ handed these people the baton. So that's what AJ deserves criticism for. You know, you can believe whatever you want. You watch the guy play for 3 years, 3 second-team All-Pro berths. He said the same stuff last year. You didn't have a problem with it. Now you have a problem with it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with it moving forward. Joshua Jackson sends a super sticker. Thank Joshua. Appreciate it, brother. If you meant to send a chat or whatever, you can drop it in. I'll pull it up. Prince says, he's a captain, so it's okay for a captain to take plays off. Stop making excuses. I forgot he's your off-the-record plug. My bad, JMac. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, well, I look, I have a tremendous respect for AJ as a player and a person. Whatever. You don't. You're the Eagles fan. I mean, look at what he's done for you. He's done a hell of a lot more for you than me. And you're the one who bails on him. And you're the one who doesn't know how to watch film. So, I mean, it's like, the guy said the same things last year. The Carolina game. And by the way, did anybody hear Devontae talk on Friday?
I did.
Did he say the same things essentially
Yeah,
as AJ?
He did it in a little bit of a better way than AJ, but he did.
Sure, I freely admit, but nobody has heard me say AJ handled it the right way.
No,
I've
yeah,
criticized the way.
you criticized him from jump on that. Correct.
And this is part of the reason. You guys take the baton where you want to go, man. And you guys are convinced that this guy that you saw dominate for the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years is all of a sudden taking plays off and not doing this and not doing that because it's Halloween and you need a villain.
Yeah, but isn't there also a natural evolution? I mean, there's a natural progression there where you've talked about AJ was upset last year too. Now AJ's upset at the beginning of the year this year too. Does that not play into the human psyche at all of AJ not maybe doing it all? I mean, that's what I mean. That's where I'm more pointing to that. I think that it's been
well. This is not the go back to Tampa. This is not the play for you. This is not the play for you. Go back to Tampa and say why didn't he play well in Tampa? And I think it's more about execution, but is there the human nature aspect of he's upset about how the offense is going? Sure, that factors into it, no doubt about it. But that particular, I'm telling you, that play ain't it, man. That play ain't it. That just ain't it.
You'll be we'll be talking about that one a lot this week.
Well, I can't, I would say anybody who goes in that direction and says he took off on that route is somebody you shouldn't be listened to when it comes to evaluation.
Yeah, the court of public opinion has been determined in that one. Let's go to some more supers. Lauren says, I agree with this one. Lauren says, one word, discipline. Haven't seen it at all season from anyone. The season started with Jalen Carter getting tossed for hawk-tooing on Dak Prescott. Need I say more? Lauren, come on, Lauren. 9 in the morning and you're hitting me with the hawk-tua? Oh,
well, I mean, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, certainly. With certain players, Jalen Carter being the most notable. Yeah, I mean, he's got to clean it up. But the Eagles have been honest about that. They haven't defended those actions. So, it is a very emotional game, as you can see by the emotional reaction to one loss in a calendar year. The players get emotional as well in the heat of the moment. But yeah, you want them to have better control than Jalen Carter spitting. I think everybody realizes that, but maybe not.
Lauren, thanks for the super chat. All right, good one. Here's James. He says, I get people upset at Cam and Landon playing hurt, but they do at 60% or whatever because their 60% is better than the next guy's 100. So it's not a player, but the squad as a whole. Entire room is lacking. I agree with that. I'm not so sure that Brett Toth or Matt Pryor's 40% is or 100% is as good as their 40% for crying out loud. Excuse me.
Well, I like, and going back to what Cam told Jeff, they realize so your play is your play when you're on the field. Like nobody cares. I talk about it all the time. The assumption that, oh, he's out there, he must be healthy is not the case in the NFL. And a lot of guys play through things for that reason because they're better than the alternative and their team needs them. And often they get shat upon because they do it.
Fair. Fair. We got a bunch more super chats. We're going to get to all of them. We got still plenty of stuff to talk about in the football game too that I want to get to as well. We hit on most of it, but there was a lot of bad and ugly. Only a couple good. Devontae Smith had a big game. I think that's fair to say. That's good because you mentioned his talk on Friday. He had 114 yards on 10 targets.
Yeah, would have had more. Would have had more if not for the penalty, which was the not getting set legal formation penalty. Would have been a 30-ish yard gain as well.
You know what else deserves an honorable mention? I know it doesn't count. That deep ball to Jahan Dotson. That was a great freaking play by both.
I thought he caught it.
Me too, man. I thought the original foot was
I thought
down.
the foot was down when he got control.
Me too. But Nick challenged it. They didn't win it, but I thought that was an honorable mention at least for a solid play there. Worst behavior. What's up, worst? I know Vic has enough on his plate, but this offense is straining the defense with always being on the field. Can he help Nick adjust? I agree with that 100%. I mean, too much 3-and-out. They lead the league right now in 3-and-outs, John. At least they did coming into the game. I'd have to
it's been, well, that's one of the reasons why AJ and Devontae are complaining. Boy, a lot of people I respect are going down the drain, man. Boy, oof.
What do you mean?
That is identity. That is exposing some people. I will just say that.
What, the AJ play?
Yeah, that is exposing some people. Yeah. I will just say that.
Are you 100% confident you're right?
I'm 150% confident.
John,
150%. 150% confident. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it again.
Football, the way I'm interpreting this, and I'm not going to make you name names, but the way I'm interpreting is that there's football people that you respect.
There's football guys and there's non-football guys.
And there's
I've used one guy. My guy, Andrew DeCecco, is a football guy. There are a lot of guys who aren't.
You're not referring to Andrew in this, though.
No, I'm not.
I
might. I haven't seen his reaction on it. Yeah. That the some people should not be watching film. Some people should not be watching film.
Let's keep rolling here. Johnny Mac. Here's Brian Pumper says, boy, the Jalen Hurts elite crowd sure has egg on their faces. Tanner wins that game. I think Jalen.
I think Jalen proved that he could throw the football.
Proved for the 50th time in his career, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he has to prove that, but
I think he had a good game throwing the football. And they're kept, like we said, you talk about the Devontae play, you talk about the AJ play. There was a bunch left on the field as well. You know, the AJ play would have been about a 60-yard touchdown. The Devontae play would have been 30 yards or so. Yeah, a lot. And then you mentioned the Dotson play as well. I mean, that was a good throw.
It was a great throw.
Yeah, I thought he proved he could throw the football. So I don't think this is an indictment of Jalen Hurts either.
JD3 checks in. JD, my bad, I missed this. He sent this at 7:58 before the show even kicked off. $20. Thanks, JD. ESP said there is no communication between Hurts and AJ outside of meetings. It seems they avoid the relationship questions with, it's about the work. How hard is it to say, yeah, we're good, or that's always been my guy? Well, I don't think that's the case anymore, JD.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want.
I'll leave the gossip for the gossip people, but they're not as close as they once were. But I think they
but John, let's just put the gossip to the side for a second, okay? Because the gossip is still a factor. Is that factor impacting the work and the business and the things that actually matter where you will talk about? Because I think that's what's important. It's not about whether they're friends or not. I don't give a shit whether they're friends or not. Has that relationship that has dwindled a little bit or changed impacted what they've done production-wise on the football field? It's fair to tie that together. Now, correlation doesn't mean causation, but it's fair to at least speculate that at this point. I think it is.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you want to speculate it, I'll say this to ignite and give the people what they want. You should increase your circle. It's not just about Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. You should increase your viewpoints. You know, Devontae Smith got asked the same question. Do you guys get together outside of work? And he's like, no. Those two were close as well. You should increase your circle of identity if you want to go down there, because I don't think they are nearly as close as once portrayed. And this is an entire group. The entire offense, I think, now has more of a business-like relationship.
And a lot of that is due to what, Galen?
I believe the thought process in the building. I'll give all the gossip hounds what they want, and he's what he comes across to the public is how he comes across to many of his teammates.
Right.
Very aloof.
Which makes sense. And again, part of me thinks that's a good thing. Truly. Part of me thinks that it's a good thing to have that. But I guess there is obviously some
It's
negative.
good when you win. It's not good when you lose.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Josh says, this is on Pumper for picking the Eagles to win. Yeah, I knew we were cooked now.
I didn't know he picked them to win.
Yeah, this is his first pick of the year. Oh, no, Pumper. Charles says, the villain was a lack of balance. Charles, it always is. Dank says, this reminded me of the Titans game in 2018. I don't have that one on the top.
I got another film guy. This happens a lot on film. Stop evaluating film guy. I mean,
John is outing. John is
I went through this with Randy. I'm telling you. I went through the same damn thing.
The thing that bothers me about film, John, is admittedly, we don't know everything. Like how the fuck how do you make the determine what's the timing of that route look like? Where was AJ in the progression? It's not as simple. It's never as simple in any play on film, but that's my problem with film is that you can look at it and you can break it down off what you see, but you don't know. You don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what's being called. And I guess some people profess that they do. I don't know. I don't want to criticize too many people. I do think there are good film guys out there.
There are very good.
My problem with it.
There are very good film guys, but the very good film guys, I will say this, and I'm not a film guy, but but I've watched film with people in the industry who tried to teach me things. But I don't profess to be a film guy. So because I think there's tremendous arrogance to do that when you don't know what's going on. So I always say my job is to look at what I see and ask questions about, all right, why is this to the people who are actually doing it? And again, some people are obviously, if you're a player, you might be trying to protect another player. So there's a lot of layers to it. But I've had Mike Zimmer's a guy. I got to watch film with Mike Zimmer back in days of and there's a bunch of guys around here that I can't talk about, who are really smart and understand obviously the concepts of what they're trying to accomplish, which you see things in an entirely different way. But in the case of, boy, I went through this. I went through this with one of the greatest receivers of all time. I went through the same thing. And it's just, it's like, it's shocking me back to that time. And I'm like, oh my God, come on, guys.
JMac losing some respect for some people out there. Abe says AJ wanted the ball so bad that he effed up the catch for Smitty in the end zone. High point ball.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about. That was bad. Not that to the point of Abe's point that he's bucking it up for Smitty. The point is that's not how you do. He's looking up at the ball. Devontae's looking up, but they're trying to high point the football. That's what you do at a Hail Mary. But generally, you have a better spacing, and the goal is to have one guy pick one. In theory, it would be AJ because he's bigger, taller.
Oh no, Smitty can get up there, man.
Well, yeah. Either way, well then pick one.
Right. Either way.
and then the other one has got to be there for the rebound because you're trying to swat it. That's usually when Hail Marys work. And then the second guy, you either catch it cleanly, which then it's a bad job at the defense, or you get the deflection, and the guy behind and the guy in front gets the football, and you get it that way. The spacing there was horrible, and that is something that's sort of the attention to detail that they need to be better at offensively. The spacing was absolutely horrible.
And who's that fall on? I guess again a combination of many.
Yeah, well, that's coaching. I mean, in the minute you're just trying to you have to have a plan in that type of situation. Like I said, identify now there's more than two receivers, but of those two, I would say, all right, you try to deflect the ball, pick one, and the other one try to, get the deflection. And you can't be right next to each other to accomplish that. But it's there's a million other things you have to get through before that. But it's a legitimate criticism. The spacing there was terrible.
John, is this the first game in a while that we've seen where the Eagles were clearly outcoached?
I don't know how to answer that.
Well, do you put penalties, pre-snap penalties, things
like that? I don't think there's
certain coaching at all, or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm alluding to. I'm alluding to that, and I think Sean Payton, to his credit, it's not all about just the Eagles making bad decisions. Sean had a good plan. He wanted to keep it low scoring. I don't after the game, and then fourth quarter he goes for the 2, has the aggressive approach, and it ultimately plays in his favor, and he wins the football game over a team that hasn't lost a lot. I thought Sean had a really coached well in that game, as he normally does. He's a good coach.
Well, he's a good coach, but yeah, I don't. I mean, like, I'm never going to say Vic gets out coached. I'm just not.
Well, I'll tell you what. At halftime, we talked about Vic had Bo Nix in a straitjacket. Not in the second half, he didn't.
Well, a lot of it is just throwing the ball up to Cortland Sutton. If they did that in the first half, it might have been different in the first half.
Yeah, 6'4" Cortland Sutton. A lot of contested back shoulder catches that he made.
As far as, I mean, the aggressiveness, like they went for it on 4th and 4 and hit the Devontae Smith play, but didn't get lined up. So I criticize them for not getting lined up. The aggression is there. It's always there.
The clear, egregious one would just be the lack of run. No lack of the run game when you're up by
7. I mean, I think they listen to outside voices. By the way, I'm looking at the AJ Devontae play. They're right in that. Devontae's right in front of AJ, and they're both jumping for the football. Yeah. And now you got these weirdos saying AJ's trying to break up the football.
I don't think that's what he was saying, John. He was saying that they both jumped.
No, well, I'm talking about. I'm just watching this person on Twitter. Weirdos. Like this is going to get good.
JMac, you got to retire from Twitter.
This is
Twitter is not good for your health, John. You get so mad at Twitter.
It is. Well, first of all, I'm not mad. I think it's hilarious. Like, there are legitimately people out there who think AJ Brown is trying to break up a Hail Mary to Devontae Smith. I mean, my God. Yeah. I wouldn't call it anger. I would call it, really? We're going down that route? That's what I would call it.
That's fair. That makes me feel better. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better. Good stuff. Hey, appreciate the super chat. Mint Diggity said, short week on that MetLife turf is nasty work by the schedule makers. They shouldn't have to play in that shithole, let alone a short week. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, my friend.
Yeah. Everybody plays there. By the way, I forget. I'll try to look it up. The MetLife Stadium turf is one of the most overblown things in football. Now, I'm with you. They should put grass and everything. But other than that, the history of MetLife injuries is overblown. Every time there's a big one, happened with Malik Neighbors recently. People use that. That's the narrative. the numbers, it's actually one of the lesser stadiums with ACL, Achilles type tears than any stadium. It's in the bottom half, which surprised me, to be honest, because people have been talking about it like that for so long. And the players believe it, but it's not real. It's not real. I mean, people get ACL, I remember 2 years Stuart Bradley and Joe Osman got hurt at Lincoln Financial Field on practices, it's not real. It isn't, but it's the narrative. I agree with that.
John, do you think it's fair to say that this loss might do something to the coaching staff in the locker room in terms of just being honest? Because I will say, less even about the passing game, they had 0 turnovers and lost the game.
Yeah, well, that's one of the good things I should mention. They still had good ball security, so they still haven't, they haven't gone down a dark route there. So that's a positive, and that remains something that is, to say the least, a very good part of this team. But yeah,
no takeaways. That's true, right, Josh? It was no takeaways.
yeah. So that's the more troubling part, because they never turn the football over. So that's sort of like the common. But they have, and if I go, and I was expecting, and I said, I think my prediction was they'll win a close game again. They'll struggle offensively. Bo Nix will have the ball with an opportunity to win the game, throw an interception. So I expected a couple Bo Nix turnovers. So that part, I would say the defensive not taking the football over is somewhat concerning against a quarterback like that, which I thought typically they take advantage of.
We'll see. We got a bunch more chats. I'm looking at EJ Smith did put up an all-22 look at the A.J. Brown throw, and he says it looks even worse on film. So I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of conversation about this. Here's Prince. He says, JMac, I noticed that in 21, 23 in this season, the offense is always considered predictable. Why is that, you think?
Let me read that again. I noticed that.
I think they were predictable last year too, Prince. It just worked.
Oh, yeah. They're very predictable. They've been very predictable.
They're predictable this year too, though, right? You do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a tremendously simple, predictable. I've been saying that since 2021 when they scaled back.
Right.
It's always been that way. Not necessarily a bad thing.
Not always a bad thing, but you got to be able to execute. I mean, the 90s Cowboys, everyone says they were the most predictable team.
They were.
It worked, though. It worked, man. If it's not working anymore, maybe we got to change it up.
I always bring up Hal Mummy on UFL, XFL, whatever they make up. And again, the biggest play call that people don't know is again. Run it again. We're running the football. And that's why I thought it was interesting that people got to see it. Now, nobody's watching the XFL, but if they were, they got to see a team that was rolling, and the offensive coordinator was saying, again, run it until they stop it. Invictus, very predictable, but predictable doesn't necessarily mean bad.
Right. Invictus says, like it or not, this is who we are on offense right now. We don't have a dominant run blocking O-line, but we want to play conservative football. Well, how do you reason with that, John? Like, how do you, like, what's the solution to that? Because I agree with you, Invictus. It's clear the way they want to play, and it's also clear the O-line's not the same at this point in time. So how do you adjust? Like, how do you make those adjustments? How do you fit in what you're trying to do with what the reality of your situation is offensively?
Sorry, I just saw Ben DiNucci calling out AJ. I do have to get off Twitter.
You do.
You're right.
That's what I mean. You're sure you're right, right? Because there's a lot of people out there, John.
I'm 150% sure I'm right. I haven't said
that. Never change, man.
But But no.
So you're telling me there is not even a 0.0001% chance that you are wrong that AJ Brown in that route.
Well, again, I asked people, and by the way, I didn't mean to go back to this, but I just saw that, so I was going to ask you to repeat the question. But and yeah, I got to stop. These fucking people are driving me insane. Again, what's the end game?